We are taking a look at that glut of milk on the market. Joining me now is Ryan Yonkman. He's with Rice Dairy, here to talk about what's happening with dairy farmers. So pleased to have you with us today. This is a serious problem for farmers out there.
It is. Thank you for having me.
So who's making money and who isn't right now?
Loaded question. I think very generically, to look at where markets sit today, a lot of dairies are floating around break even, but depending on where you are, there's still money to be made. A lot of that having to do with cheaper feed costs for us. So costs of production are generally down for dairies, allowing lower milk prices to actually still allow us to continue to grow and even make a little money.
Right. What are the future prices telling you about dairy prices for farmers?
So looking out across the curve, it actually does have some hope in it and showing greater profitability than we're making today, which would be another indicator of allowing us to honestly continue to grow as the futures curve shows us a little better margin.
I know a lot of farmers have been very concerned about the Canadian contract because of price changes. They are not allowed to do as much trade now with Canada. So what's the fallout?
Yeah, so I think the long and short of whatever you want to call going on in Canada is that we are exporting less into Canada, and a lot of that having to do with a lot of milk there, a lot of milk here, and naturally I think that just leaves more milk that has to move in the United States, which has a chance to put pressure on total U.S. prices or just regionally in some of those areas where you're seeing that happen, such as Wisconsin and New York. You could see bases start to erode, affecting the dairymen.
Well, we want everybody to stay in business, but could this wipe out some farmers, do you think?
I don't think so. There was a period of time where there was maybe 75 to 100 dairies looking for a home. It sounds like the majority of those dairies got picked up by other co-ops. So I don't think it was a case of putting dairies out of business. Could have been the writing on the wall for some smaller guys that were just ready to hang it up, but I don't think that was something that's taking a large milk out of our market.
And what's happening with milk spills? We're hearing there's such a glut of this milk that farmers are having to release it into the fields.
So being from Michigan, like yourself, we are kind of in the middle of that conversation now. For a couple years running, we've had tremendous growth on the milk production side with actually a lack of real growth in capacity. It's a simple supply and demand. The world markets are asking for it, but you've got some regions in the United States where we have a lack of capacity, which is causing a lot of milk to move out of state at big discounts. And in some cases, like in Michigan, some of that milk is actually finding its way onto the ground with nowhere to move.
I can't even imagine what that must feel like to a dairy farmer to have to do that, to have to get to that point.
Yeah, it's not something you ever want to see. It goes and hits our bottom line and everybody else in the cooperative. But the reality is you don't just shut cows off. We have to milk them day in and day out. And at these market prices, as we talked about, it's still at levels that's telling us to produce. So it's kind of a very much a regional thing. And until milk prices or something else moves to start really hitting us financially, I think you'll continue to see some of that.
Well, you'll keep us posted, I'm sure.
I will do that.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.